You need to watch Classic Who to say you are a true Whovian. Tut tut, get the finger out and start watching. And go get a DVD, Blu-ray sets. You don't know what you've been missing. Call yourself a fan.
These are just some of the lovely comments that I get every single day.
You're not a true Doctor Who fan.
So I set myself a challenge. Watch 7 classic Doctor Who stories from 7 doctors in 7 weeks. So strap in, because today we're watching...
Hey, and welcome back to my series where I'm watching a lot of classic Doctor Who. Today, we are watching the 3rd Doctor, Jon Pertwee. I'm very excited. I love Jon Pertwee. He's an absolute hero. He's an action hero. And some of you that have been watching this series might be like, Crispy, where the heck are you right now? Why are you in your car? Well, it's because I thought that all of you would get bored of me just watching TV in my living room for 7 weeks straight. So we've traveled somewhere today, and I've brought a portable DVD player that my mum was like, hey, I've got this. Do you want it? I was like, yes. Absolutely, I've got a series coming up that it might come in handy for. But today we are watching The Terror of the Autons. What? On the cover I can see the Master, I can see Katie Manning, I can see Jon Pertwee. And I love the Autons, so I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to watch this one pretty please. And the Brigadier's in this? Oh boy. But yeah, let me show you what we're gonna watch this episode today. So I went to all that effort. I was really proud of those shots. I was really excited for the episode. And I don't think I charged the DVD player properly. The portable DVD player died on me as soon as the episode was about to start. I tried everything. I tried looking for PowerPoints near me, and it did not work. Actually, I shouldn't be too mad at the universe, because I think I just saved myself about $300, because as I went back to my car, the ticket inspector was right there, and he was like, oh, have you paid? And I was like, oh, no, sorry, I was just here for 5 minutes. He's like, oh, okay, go on. But regardless, I'm sorry that we're back in my house, but hey, we didn't get a fine, so maybe it's a good thing. Please subscribe to this channel. I am trying to put in effort with this series, even if the universe has other plans. Anyway, what's the synopsis for this episode?
The 3rd Doctor and unit work to stop the Master. The Master wants to use a radio telescope to summon an invasion force of the Nestines to Earth. This serial introduced the Doctor's new companion, Jo Grant, and his archenemy, the Master. Wait, what? I had no idea going into this that this was the Master's first story, and gosh, I'm only just finding that out now. What? Anyway, cue titles. The Master lands his TARDIS that's disguised like a truck. It's nice to see a working chameleon circuit for once.
So the Master's TARDIS has disguised as a truck, and it looks ridiculous, but I'm all for it.
The Master then sneaks his way into a radio tower, and by sneaks, I mean straight up kills this scientist and plugs the Nestine consciousness into the radio tower. Well, I think that's the Nestine consciousness. Then we got our first look at the Doctor, Jo Grant, and oh hey, the Brig's in this one too. How exciting after last week's episode.
The Doctor should always wear red velvet, okay? Okay?
But it seems like the Doctor and Jo aren't really getting along. I don't understand exactly what's happening, because I thought this was Jo's first episode, but they seem to have some kind of weird history. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, it's Bessie! Beep, beep. Who won? Okay, so some people have died at a radio tower, and the Doctor now has word of it, and what is this?
This is one of the most hilarious dematerializations I have ever seen, and this was my actual reaction.
I'm sorry?
Absolutely iconic. And as it turns out, this was just a fellow Time Lord warning of the Master's arrival on Earth. I really wish someone in a suit, boiler hat would rock up in my life when something was wrong. Anyway, the Doctor gets to the radio tower, but it's been booby-trapped, but that's no worries for the Doctor. And it turns out the Master didn't kill that scientist, he just made him small, like that episode with Jodie. Chibnall loves the classics.
Tissue compression. Again, damn, the Master's been doing it for ages. It's classic.
And then new companion Jo, desperate to impress the Doctor, hides from the Master and tries to get some intel, but is found almost immediately, and then gets hypnotized by the Master. She returns to unit with a padlocked crate that apparently once contained the Nestine energy unit, but as she begins to unlock it, the Doctor realizes it's a bomb! but Joe is determined to open it. And that's the end of episode 1.
Part 1 has just finished of Terror of the Autons, and I've got to say, I'm having a good time, but I want more Autons. Not many Autons yet, and that's all right. It's a part 1. I'm intrigued by the mystery they're setting up. It was so strange seeing a Time Lord come and warn the Doctor. That was a surreal scene, but it was cool. I need to remember in classic Doctor Who that the Time Lords are around and they're still a thing, and they aren't all dead or in a parallel universe and they're dead again. I'm excited to see what the Master is doing with the Nestine consciousness. What is the plan? What exactly are we doing here? I love it when two big bads work together, and so seeing the Master and the Autons together, I think that's going to be a fun time. What the episode kind of set up at the start for Jo was that she kind of needs to prove herself to the Doctor, because the Doctor was very ready to be like, hey, I don't need you on my adventures anymore. And I don't think I've ever seen that from the Doctor before, where he's like, I don't really need you as a companion. So I think I would love to know why that's happened. So I thought when Jo was kind of going out on her own and like spying on the Master, I was like, yes, this is a chance for Jo to prove herself. Then she gets hypnotized and she ends up being one of the bad guys. I hope this doesn't last very long and that the start of the next episode, she kind of comes back to it normally. But I've never really been like a big fan of that trope where they take a likable character and hypnotize them and make them bad, because you're not actually spending much time with that character. It's exactly like, Jeremy Renner in the first Avengers, I guess. He was like, this wasn't the character I signed up for. So whilst this episode hasn't excited me as much as other part 1s that I've seen, I'm still very intrigued to see how this whole thing plays out. So let's go and watch part 2. Whoa, all right, we are back and welcome to Terror of the Autons Day 2. It's been a few days since I watched the first episode, I must admit. And I'm very excited to get back into it because of the Master and Katie Manning and John Pertwee and Autons. Thank you. And I know things didn't go to plan last time when I tried to have a change of scenery. So this time we are in my office. Office tour. I have a green screen up at the moment, but behind here, it's like, oh, scary. Whoa, Dalek. Is this interesting? Probably not. Whoa, more Doctor Who. And hey, there's something classic Doctor Who. That's Janet Fielding. Here's me and Jodie. Wow, look at us go. And then there's me and my co-host, Troy. And of course, I have one monitor here and another monitor here, but we're watching our episode on this teeny tiny little portable DVD player in here, because PCs these days don't have disc drives anymore. Anyway, I'm going to watch the episode on this teeny tiny little DVD player now, and I'm very excited about it. So let's give it a go. Actually, I've got the green screen right behind me. Can we put me into the Doctor Who titles for John Pertwee? Whoa! Ooh. I mean, there's something just really awesome, even just hearing the audio come out of these tiny, tiny speakers that makes us feel more nostalgic than it should be.
This episode started strong with the Master showing off exactly what the Nestine consciousness plastic can do, like make a very comfy couch. Cool.
It's like he's on Shark Tank and he's pitching this product.
Anyway, this guy McDermott confronts the Master, and then the Master invites him to sit on the plastic couch, which comes alive, collapses, and suffocates him. Oh wow, that is dark. Jo then becomes unhypnotized and everything seems to get back on track. And then the Master continues his Shark Tank endeavors with this little freak. What is that thing? I truly do not like the look of this thing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's my sleep paralysis demon. I absolutely hate it, but if there was a minifigure of this, I would cop it so fast. Moving swiftly onwards, this demonic thing then comes alive in one of the greatest Doctor Who scenes of all time.
What in the Teletubbies is this? So the Master's plan is to lure the Doctor to the circus where that little Teletubby freaky guy is. And the Master has said that he's going to destroy the Doctor at the circus, so let's see how this goes.
Then this little guy picks up some pace and starts killing. He's a killing machine. I should probably mention that whilst all of this is happening, the Doctor and Jo found the Master's TARDIS and broke in. And I still don't like how everyone is treating Jo in this episode.
This episode is bonkers so far, but my one critique is what they're doing with Jo. Everyone, including the Doctor, is just like, stay in the background. Stay in the background is literally a quote from the Brigadier here.
The Doctor then gets donked over the head and is rescued by an arriving police car. But instead of being taken back to town, the Doctor and Joe arrive in a remote quarry. The Doctor asks the police officers to show his warrant card, but he gets nothing. He peels off a face mask and reveals that the policemen are Autons in disguise, and that's how the episode ends. What a cliffhanger, baby!
Episode 2 was absolutely bonkers. That's probably one of the craziest episodes of Doctor Who I've ever seen, because look, this probably isn't one I'm going to show my friends to recommend the show, but a man gets eaten by couch, amazing. That little freaky plastic guy, amazing. And actually a very, very good cliffhanger, and it makes me want to watch the next episode, so I can't wait to do that. Let's watch it now! Episode 3, baby!
The Doctor and Joe run out of the police car, but they are getting shot at. And as a big fan of the episode Rose, it was cool to see that the handguns were in classic Who too. Handguns. Is that a pun because there's a gun in the hand? Huh? And then this guy gets absolutely yeeted down the hill. We need to see more of this nonsense in New Who. And then I was met with one of the longest pauses in dialogue I have ever seen.
Well, didn't he?
You're quite right, Joe. I'll apologise.
That was one of the longest line delivery pauses I have ever seen.
I know, I literally just said that, you idiot. The Doctor then tries to do some DIY improvements to his TARDIS, and it doesn't work, and he gets mad. And then, oh my god, what the f*** is that? These guys are genuinely creepy. An absolutely horrifying disguise for the Nestine to wear. Look at them, so puffy. So puffy. The Doctor and Joe then go back to talk to this grieving widow whose husband died from this little freaky guy. They then go back to unit with the horrible looking demon baby, and one of the soldiers shoots the absolute shit out of him. The Doctor and the Master then decide it's a good time for a phone call, but the Master activates a signal device, and the Doctor's newly installed plastic telephone cord comes to life and chokes the poor boy.
One of the goofiest endings to an episode I have ever seen. 10 out of 10, no notes. Well, that was the end of episode 3, and what a story. This story is absolutely bonkers. The thing with the Third Doctor's era is that a lot of his stories are set on Earth. It's rather grounded, like he works with unit. The story is absolutely insane, but damn it, it is so entertaining. I'm having a great time, and I can't wait to see how this episode ends. And in fact, I don't have to wait. I can watch it right now! The DVD stopped playing. I hope it's okay. Why? Why can't we just have one episode without technical issues? Oh god. It's stuck. It's stuck on episode 4. I need to know how this story ends. There is nothing I can do. It is stuck. Whoa! And just as I'm about to start episode 4, now would be a really good time to subscribe. If you have got any value out of this series, if you've had fun watching classic Doctor Who with me, please consider subscribing. These videos take quite a bit of work to make, but it's literally just me discovering more about the show that I already love. So yeah, please consider subscribing. Thank you.
Well, well, well. There is something truly poetic about this entire video of me trying to, make these videos more entertaining and giving you different settings so it's not just me watching a TV show in my living room. But the universe has other plans. Everything I do, every road leads me back to my couch on my living room. And that applies outside of Doctor Who. I love my living room. I love that couch. And I love this show. And I love you. But anyway, let's hook the PlayStation up and see if that works. Oh yeah!
Yes! Thank God!
The Doctor and Joe are investigating these plastic daffodils that the Autons have been handing out, and oh my gosh, it just attacked Joe, and the plastic started suffocating her, and honestly, I found it hard to watch.
I truly hate, the idea of suffocation, so that's probably the most intimidating scene this entire episode. It's been a pretty goofy episode, but I like it.
The Master then rocks up, and Joe blurts out that Unit knows where the Autons' whereabouts is and are planning an airstrike. The Master alters his plan, kidnapping them and taking them to the quarry as hostages to prevent the airstrike. And they all go for a lovely joyride in Bessie. Yippee! Family fun time.
What kind of small talk are they having when they're waiting for the traffic light to go green? I just imagine that being a really awkward trip.
They then head back to the radio tower, and the Master full on pushes this guy to his death. It is brutal. There's a bit of a kerfuffle at the top of the radio tower, but the Doctor manages to stop the signal to the Autons, and all of the Autons fall to the ground. The Master seemingly surrenders and then gets shot multiple times. Oh my goodness, is there going to be a regeneration? It was actually some other guy that the Master had hypnotized in a very convincing latex mask. And just like that, this story was done.
Okay, so that was my first time watching Terror of the Autons, and I will say, up until the last episode, I was having a really, really good time, and I just felt like they wrapped it up too quickly. Which, in all fairness, it made me feel right at home, because one of my main problems with the newer episodes is the episode wraps up way too quickly, and then the Master kind of just got away. There was like one final twist, I guess. That last part didn't necessarily stick the landing, but I will say, I had an absolute blast this episode. Well, this story, I should say. The Auton's genuinely creepy. The Master is iconic, and it's so much fun. Jo, I feel like, deserves much better. She's very much put in the background. But Jon Pertwee as the Doctor, I mean, what an absolute delight. How lucky we are to have Jon Pertwee as the Doctor. But it was a really, really fun, absolutely bonkers story about how you can't trust plastic. Just don't trust it. But have you seen this classic Doctor Who story? Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of the episode, and let me know which one I should watch next for the third Doctor. But until then, stay away from plastic.